Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing wheel alignment on the 31. Currently got it jacked up on jack stands at the front. First job is to get underneath, recenter the rack. So it's got to measure the tie rods each side, get it all nice and centered, recenter the steering wheel so I know where it is. I'm going to have to most probably drop this down to do the alignment, so it's going to be a little bit finicky up and down. I don't have sliders or anything to run the front wheels on to adjust the alignment. So it's going to be a case of, I'm just going to have to get it down, kind of measure what I need, and then make the adjustment and probably roll the car back and forth a couple of times just to get the wheels centered up, or let them free run so they sit where they're supposed to sit. Because if you adjust it, the tyres are just going to grab, and they're not necessarily going to let the tyres sit where they're supposed to. If they're on sliders, they'll just move as needed as you adjust the tie rods. But otherwise, you'll adjust the tie rod and the tie rod might adjust a certain amount, but then the tire is still going to grip and kind of half drag, and then when you actually roll the car, the tire is going to change to be where it naturally wants to sit. So yeah, she's up on jack stands. Gonna make this nice and quick. Let's get stuck into it. And yeah, fingers crossed this goes well and doesn't take me 44 hours. Let's see. Not sure how well you guys are going to see this, but I just removed the boot from the into the steering rack to the tie rod. Usually there's grease and stuff in there to kind of lubricate everything as it moves. I'm going to hazard a guess and say we have blown some seals in the steering rack. It was apparently reconditioned not long before I got it. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I think we've blown some seals in the steering rack, because I take this off and we have some very leaky boys. Oh, that's not good. I'm not sure if it's just the grease. It's pretty filthy. I'm not sure if it's just the grease has melted, because the turbo is literally right above there. So there's be a lot of heat. Exhaust here, obviously. Turbo rear housing is literally like 15 centimeters above this boot. So whether it's just absolutely incinerated the grease and fucked it and turned it to liquid, I don't know. But yeah, it's supposed to be solid grease in there, not liquid. That's going to be interesting. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we're going to have to obviously investigate that a little bit more. So you can kind of see there is remnants of grease in here. That is very, very watery. It's like the grease that's supposed to be in here has just fucking liquefied, because there is remnants down on the ball joint down here, and even in the boot. Still where I've pulled it down here, obviously in the boot itself, there's still remnants of pretty, I don't know if you can see it on my finger, some pretty solid grease still in there. So that's not terrible, but it's definitely not what it should look like. Not supposed to be liquid in there, that's for sure. There's nothing like, no sort of scoring or really bad wear or anything going on. So that side of things, it kind of looks okay, but yeah, definitely not supposed to be liquid in there either. So I've opened the driver's side boot, taken it off. I've cleaned a little bit. There was a little bit of liquid in here, nowhere near as bad as the other side. I have a funny feeling it's just a heat. I may have to look at like a high temp grease to put in there to stop it copying all the shit from that. It does have a heat shield over the top of it. Obviously the exhaust is always run down that side. Just the stock layout for the exhaust. I may have to look at a better heat shield or more heat shielding around the boot, because the boot does extend out past the, especially when you're on full lock, the boot does extend out past the heat shield. So maybe I've got to look at some better heat shielding down there, or as I said, maybe a high temp grease or a higher temp grease to run in here, just to kind of keep it a little bit safer. So you can see there's a little bit of liquidy stuff. I think it's not a steering, because the power steering fluid hasn't dropped like
since I refilled after I pulled the system off while I was doing the turbo, rerun the lines, it hasn't dropped at all. So it's not like it's leaking power steering coolant everywhere. But yeah, I think it's just the grease melting, basically, turning the liquid. So gonna have to look at that. Maybe it's just something I'm gonna have to service regularly after drift events. Take the boots off, clean them, like take the boots like this, kind of pull them off. I mean, it doesn't take much to undo this. I know what the measurements are. Maybe just take the boots off, clean the grease out, reapply grease so it's got fresh grease every event, just to keep the steering, the knuckles and stuff all in good nick. But yeah, I'd say that's what it is. I think it's just the exhaust overheating it. So yeah. So to center the rack, what we need to do is measure the space from here to the actual rack itself. Now, with this one, there is a little inlet or inset you can see there. So we're not actually measuring from here on this side, we measure from here. The other side is a flat face, so you do measure for them on the other side. If you don't, you're obviously going to be off, that's what, 8 mil, 9 mil almost. So you're going to be 9 mil off center, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking degrees on the steering wheel when it transfers up there, that's a long way off center. So the other side was about 72, I think, from memory. So what we're going to do is basically get this center, readjust the steering wheel so the steering wheel's on center. We'll go up and test it, make sure we get the same rotations both directions on the steering wheel, and then we're good to go from there.
Okay, I have everything set up for the alignment. I'll turn the camera around and show you in a second how I'm doing it. Fuck me. That was a process and a half trying to get it done. But we're set up. Definitely way out of alignment. Well, the alignment's done. Doing the towing is all I've got set up now. Fuck me. Yeah, the driver's side, it's not perfect because it's up in the air, but it's going to at least give me a lot closer than what it is. Drop it back down and then reassess. But the driver's side is basically neutral camber. It's got a tiny little bit of toe out. Sorry, not camber, toe. Driver's side's got basically neutral, it's tiny little bit out. The passenger side is like a massive amount of toe out. So no wonder it was fucking pulling badly to the side. And yeah, so I'll turn this around. I'll show you what the setup is I've got going on. Okay, so what you can possibly see down the side of the car is this bright pink string line. It runs all the way down to the back, all the way to the front. So this is what I'm going to use as the reference line. At the back, I have used my tyre stack to be the heavy anchor at the back. At the front, to keep the string tight, I have my lovely little collapsible ladders that wraps around. It actually worked out perfectly, so that string runs almost direct midline all the way up and down. And then a bit of weight on the bottom here to keep tension on the string, so it basically wraps around, ties off at the top. So as I had to adjust it in and out, these just kind of slid up and down to get the right thing. So what you need to do is make sure this is all square. So you need to make sure that point and that point where it attaches are the same distance as the ones at the back. You need to make sure that distance to that distance is the same on that side. You also need to make sure the distance from center caps from here on this side and the back and the same on that side. So basically this matches that side and that matches that side to make sure it's all square and you haven't got it kind of twisted like a I'm going to completely lose the word there. One of those slanted squares that you see in geometry. Was never good at geometry. Algebra, yes. Geometry, no. Also, my brain's kind of fried doing this. That took a very long time. It took a lot longer than I really wanted it to set it all up and get everything kind of in line and adjusted. As I said, it's not perfect because the wheels are off the ground. It will change slightly when it drops down, but this is going to get a lot closer. So you can see, this is the passenger side. If I give you, we're almost touching here. And we're a fucking mile off on this end. I think it's about 15 odd mil at this side, and at the front it's like 4 or 5 mil. Actually, no, it's closer to 20 mil, like 4 or 5 mil. And then if we go on the other side, haven't got a huge amount of space, so I kind of got to jump over the wheels. if you look on this side, it's pretty much even front to back. They're both about 10 mil front and back. So yeah, driver side almost neutral, toe in, toe out. Passenger side was way off, wasn't even freaking close. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of toe out just to help it with the steering. Obviously get it as even as I can both sides, and then yeah, drop it down. I'll leave all the string lines and stuff up because I should be able to drop it directly straight down. Whether the height's right or not, but it's going to at least give me enough to kind of gauge. I might have to drop the height of the strings down as well, just to kind of, oh god, that means I'm going to have to set it all up again. Motherfucker. Okay, let's go suck into it because yeah, no point stressing about it. Let's just get it done. Okay, so alignment's done. Now time to drop it down and see how badly I did it. Visually, it already looks better than what it was. I've tested the steering wheel and we're getting the same amount of turns both directions, which I can quickly show you while it's up in the air. If we go, so from center, we've got 1 and like a third full turns that way. So go back to center, and then we've got 1 and basically the same the other direction, about a third the other way. So nicely centered again, which is good. Hopefully it steers straight, that'll be lovely. Visually it already looks a little bit better. Before, I said it's up in the air, so it's gonna look a little bit different once it's down. But before it was very off. It was very noticeable that both wheels were different. I've gone neutral and then about 1.5 mil out. Just enough. I don't want to go, so it hasn't got much caster. So because it hasn't got much caster, it doesn't self-center very easily. You've got to really kind of work it back. So I didn't want to go too much toe out because that's just going to get even less self-centering. Like it's actually going to make it harder. It's going to make it better to turn in, but it's going to make it harder to self-center. So at the track, if I need to, I can wind it out like half a turn or so either side just to see what happens. But I've gone a little bit less than what I had before, just to try and help with that self-centering, a little bit help with the self-steering. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's drop it down and see what it looks like on the ground. So it looks from here, looks about right. Let's have a look around the other side. And from the back, looks about even. Hopefully we might be in for a winner. That doesn't look too bad. And the toe, the camber, so the way I'm doing the camber is with this little angle gauge. I don't know if you can see it, turn around so you can see it in the sun. Little angle gauge that just on a bit of right-hand steel. So obviously not scientific by any stretch of the means, but you can see if I sit that on the outside of the rim, either side, it's missing all the nuts and it's sitting, obviously as I said, not entirely scientific, but 85. So 5 degrees camber, which is 5 degrees, which is what I was after. And on this side that I kind of winged it whilst it was up in the air because I forgot how much I had to take out of it. It is not sitting on the lug nuts, in case you're wondering. There is a tiny little air gap between them. But again, it's on the outside of the rim and not bad for your boy at home. Look at that. 85, 85. Sometimes I even surprise myself how awesome I am. Jokes, not really. Yeah, happy with that. Seems to be at 5 degrees each side. Toe looks like it's just a fraction out both sides, just eyeballing it. Does look like it kind of lines up with the measurement, so hopefully I haven't fucked that up. Looking from the back, can't really see my face now, but looking from the back you can see it has got a nice little bit of toe on each side. Just a fraction, which is all I was after. So a little bit of toe, 5 degrees camber. Caster, unfortunately, I can't do much with until I machine caster rods, which will be the next thing. Should have tried the 18-inch rims while it was up in the air. Bugger. Oh, I'm going to have to get up in the air. Something else I have to do. Oh, I've got to fix up just tie up some of the seat brackets, but that's fine. Man, I'm happy with that. Took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but morning well spent. So, yeah, sweet. Alignment done. Yeah, I'm going to sign this one for you. Get the video done nice and early for today. Vlog it out. Vlog it out, baby. Yeah, I'm kind of going delirious. I need food. It's lunchtime. Yeah, happy with that. So that's a big one ticked off the list that I've kind of been, not going to lie, I was kind of putting it off just because I knew it was going to be a bit of an effort. So glad that's done. Still plenty of tread on the front tyres, so I'll leave those on for Pheasant Wood. Hopefully there'll be enough groupie boys to get me through the day. And now I'm just figuring out what I'm doing with the rears between Pheasant Wood and South Circuit. How did I forget South Circuit, my lord? But yeah, keep the 15s or the 16s on the front, sorry. 16s on the rear at the moment. I haven't got enough tyres to do the 16s on the rear. Like to do a full, maybe. Then I kind of want to test the 18s on the wet track down at Pheasant Wood just to kind of see if the car's going to blow up or not, because I don't want to go to South Circuit, do one lap and blow everything up on the dry, which is obviously going to be a lot more brutal on the car, but we'll see. Yeah, super excited. Super excited. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff down below. Hit the little subscribe button. I'm going to have to figure out how to put one of those little animated ones up to remind you to subscribe, because a lot of people who watch this do not subscribe, and subscribing to someone's channel is the biggest way of helping them out and getting the algorithm to think that we are popular, or more popular than we think we are, or less popular. I don't know, depends how big your ego is. Anyway, don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you all guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Be awesome, stay safe, I'll see you out on the track.